Hello and welcome to Denim Automation's case study. This is all about how I turned my local home service business into an automated sales machine. And I really cannot even wait to share all of this stuff with you. So let's dive right in. Before I get too much further, my name is Emily, and this is my starting point. So in 2017, I bought a chimney sweeping business with my cousin. The intention was for me to do the office side of things and him to do the technician side of things. We were both first time business owners, but me in particular, it was also my first time working from home. This was pre COVID, so this was all sort of novel. And also, I had my third child who was an infant at the time. So there was a lot of chaos happening. That's the point of my story. There was just a lot of chaos in my life at that time. And so things were moving quickly and there was a lot that was not working. So my business starting point, we had paper invoices. Like literally someone wrote out invoices. The technicians wrote out invoices, handed the customer a carbon copy while we were at their houses. And things got lost all the time. It was insane. The other thing is people had to physically call to book an appointment. And that was the literal only way that they could get onto our schedule. So if I didn't pick up the phone, we were out of business. We were also paying for Yelp. And I know like people have figured out Yelp. I never figured out Yelp. So basically, we were paying for nothing. We had to email invoices. If someone needed like a digital copy of something, someone had to sit down and physically like type everything out and then email it. We had a website from the 90s, which was okay, except that it sort of wasn't the best impression if someone was finding us online. And then we had a database of about 8,000, which is great. That is actually the reason why we bought the business, because we have people in our database. So with that, there were some problems to solve and some immediate things that needed to be solved. So, the 7 things that I had to solve in order to run the business the way that I wanted to. So, to be clear, bought a business, it was very analog, which was fine for the previous owners who were my aunt and uncle because they had run it that way for 20 years. So, they had the systems down. I, new person, totally disorganized, really just did not have my act together and I needed things to be a lot more streamlined. So, what I needed to do was to one, get rid of paper invoices because we were losing invoices all the time. Losing invoices physically, nowhere to be found. They were like in the van somewhere. Like we had to set up these delivery things because I didn't live in the same house with our technicians. So I had to like meet up with them and get the papers. It was insane. Next, my problem is that I had a really noisy household. People, like I have 3 kids, like I said, including one being a baby. And so there was no quiet. Like I couldn't just answer the phone at any time. Number 3, we were having no shows all the time. People just forgot that we were coming because I was too like out of sorts and I wasn't sending any sort of manual notifications to remind people. They had to trust that we were on their schedule and vice versa. And everybody had to trust that we all remembered and people forgot all the time. Number 4, we were paying Yelp for nothing. So where were we going to get new leads? I don't know. I didn't know. Also, number 5, we had to manually follow up to get paid. So I had to stay on top of people. And as a first-time business owner, that is so awkward and terrible to ask people for money. It's terrible, but we had to make a living. So I went out of my way to do it, but like there had to be a better way. Number 6, our website was not the right first impression or functional. So we had to turn that into something modern and usable. And then number 7, we had no efficient way to dig things out of our database. We had all this great database. It was the reason why we bought it. But the names just sat there. We didn't have anything to do with these or filter them. Nothing. There was nothing we could do with these names. So what do? We just knocked out problems one by one. So the very first thing, problem number 1, paper invoices kept getting lost. So solution number 1 was to eliminate paper invoices. Duh, that's just what we did. So here's how we did it. Solution number 1, we decided to invest in a technology. We started using House Call Pro to go paperless, and they were a godsend. So basically, what this solved, it kept our paper. We kept our paper. I should say we did keep our paper system around for a little bit, mostly to appease the text, but ultimately, like, we just had to rip off the Band-Aid because no, everything was now in the system and we could reference it. So the result was no more lost invoices, but also we had our notes on the invoices that we can reference for years to come. We could email customers, and then we could save them and reference, like we always knew what was happening. Think like, the medical office, they know what the deal is. So that solved problem number one, no more paper invoices. Problem number two, the only way to book an appointment was on the phone. And I still answer the phone. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I speak on the phone to people, but I had to stop being the only way to book an appointment. So our solution was to add ways for customers to book an appointment. That's it. We just had to add other ways. So again, no one's giving up on phones. What we're doing is making it easier to have a solution, to not be the only way that we can make money in our business. So what we did, we figured out our services that we could offer online. We do not offer everything online because it's confusing. There's so much technical jargon, and there's so many things, as you can probably relate to your home service business. There's so many little things that you have to really explain and educate your customers about. And if they go in clicking willy-nilly on all of the things that they need, then they get nervous and they're like, oh crap, I think I needed this, but I'm not sure. And so you don't want to put them in that situation. So we had to figure out the services that we could easily offer online. They're very blanket, generic services. We tested words so that the booking process was very clear. We had to make sure that the customers really understood what they were getting. That took a lot of trial and error because people would book something and then they thought they were getting something, but they weren't. So there was a lot of working on that. And then we used House Call Pro to do our online booking. So that way we could make sure that our solutions were available to a broader audience. And when someone just wanted to book an appointment, they didn't have to talk to someone. They didn't need to be convinced to do it. Just book an appointment. So simple. So our result number two was that there was no mandatory phone time. I say mandatory, so I could get back to people when it worked for me. So at the time, it was during nap time. And what's funny is that I've sort of carried that into this phase. Now my kid is way older. So she no longer has to take naps. And so I still, though, I will call at the same time just because of the cadence of the day. So it's kind of funny how that works. Problem number three, we were having no-shows, which is just the worst because we drive all the way to someone's house and then we showed up, but they weren't there because they just forgot we were coming. So that would be my bad because I didn't tell them or remind them. We live in an age where people require reminders. It's fine. So solution was number three was to add a system for reminders. So simple. And House Call Pro solved it. If you're seeing a common theme, hopefully you're seeing a common theme. House Call Pro has been our solution for a lot of these things. So when a customer books an appointment, they get a confirmation email, they get a confirmation text, they get a reminder email a day or two before the appointment, and they get an on our way text. So our technician, all they have to do is push a button and then it sends a text to say, we're on our way. So they get all four notifications saying that we are coming at this date and this time. And so as a result, our no-shows are down. There is not zero no-shows. We probably get we used to get probably one a week, and now we're down to one every 2 months. Way better. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. So the result number three is no more no-shows. I sort of exaggerated. Way less no-shows. So we're great. Problem number four, we were paying Yelp for nothing. Again, I'm not knocking out. If you figured out Yelp, by all means, that's awesome. Do that. For me, I was paying Yelp for nothing. It was stupid and I was mad about it. So my solution was to ditch Yelp and to pick Google. Everybody goes to Google. For me, Yelp is a secondary website. If someone is looking for our services, they're going to Google chimney sweeps in San Diego County, and then they'll be able to find us. they're not going to go to Yelp and find us. So I just doubled down on Google because that, in my opinion, is where people were actually finding us. So my solution, ditch Yelp, pick Google. Here's what we do. I figured out enough SEO to get my website to rank. And that all I did was answer questions. I just answered questions that my customer had and put them in blog form so that my website could, start to rank a little bit. Then I implemented as many free tools that Google had as possible. But the most important thing that we did was we turned on a feature in House Call Pro and started focusing on getting Google reviews. Those Google reviews have skyrocketed our online presence. We have so many reviews just from using the right tool. And now the reviews showed up where people were actually searching. So when they're in Google, they see we have now like almost 500 Google reviews, and people are like, okay, they must be legit, right? So our result number 4 is free leads from Google. I'm not paying Google for these things. I just implemented the systems the right way. And so people are finding us more frequently and easier. All right, problem number 5, we had to manually follow up to get paid. Oh, it's so awkward. I just felt so awkward all the time. Like, hey, remember? Like, I would have to call them on the phone. Hey, remember you haven't paid us yet? Can you mail us a check? Oh my gosh, it was not ideal. This was very antiquated way of getting paid. So the solution was to implement an autoresponder. And also to implement a system where we could just get paid online. People can just pay this online, like through this thing. So House Call Pro to the rescue again. Yes. So now when a job is complete, the invoice is created inside of House Call Pro. And then if the invoice is unpaid, an automatic email goes out once a week as a reminder, and it shuts off when the customer pays. So nobody is sitting there in front of the computer sending out these auto things. Like I don't have to catch any of these invoices. They'll just go out without me. And then they bug people until they pay it. It's so great. So great. And I should also say, so result number 5, we have more money and less headache. I can also say whenever people get annoyed by these systems, it happens sometimes, but we have to get paid. Then it's always simple to be like, technology, the system. And because that's real, like the system goes on autopilot, and then we can work with people to make it work. It's not a big deal. All right. So then problem number 6 is we had an outdated website, which, it's okay. Not everyone needs a website, but for us, if we're going to implement all these systems where I no longer have to answer the phone constantly, then I need to have a website that's like looks good, So the solution was to upgrade the website. Yeah, no kidding. So what we did was just use an online website builder. There's about a billion out there. We implemented as many features as possible. That's a good thing because then the website, builder like helps you with your rankings or whatever. And then we added a blog. I mentioned that before. I added a blog just for SEO purposes. And also it was a way for me to link things. Like if in our booking process, I made a blog article about what to expect during your service. And then I could just link that blog article in all of our appointment reminders or whatever, and people can read about it instead of calling to ask questions. Of course, we're still available for asking questions, but if they prefer the information that way, they can get it. So result number 6 is we ended up being number 1 in organic search in our local market, which is great. That's what we need. Plus, we have a website where people can actually book a service. All of the things the universe aligned here. Problem number 7, we had a big database, but not using it for anything. It was just sitting there. We couldn't dig anything out. And so we had to figure out how to activate this database. So the solution number 7 was to automate a re-engagement campaign. So what I did was I put our database into high level. Then we crafted a really friendly reminder, and it just tells people about an offer. And I send it out just once or twice a year. I'm not bugging people. I'm not sending them all the time. We have a chimney sweeping business in Southern California. People don't need to hear from us all the time. But what I did do was I divided our list into smaller chunks. So this is called segmenting your audience. So I segmented our audience so that I'm not blasting everyone, because we do get pretty good engagement. But if I just need to fill up a week's worth of appointments, I don't need to send it to everyone because we'll lose some of the people in the process. So I just chunked it up into little pieces, and we can send out auto texts, and then we get a pretty good engagement back. And then we can book appointments, and we filled up our schedule for that week. It's pretty awesome. All right. So the result is we are not paying for leads, no paying for leads. Our efficiency, we can efficiently capitalize on our warm audience. So now, like, we literally spend $0 on our leads because we no longer pay for Yelp. So we just use Google, and we don't have to pay because we're a small company. So we don't have to be crazy about what we're bringing in. We can just contact the people that are already in our system, and then it keeps us busy enough that our schedule is always booked. So if this sounds cool, if you want a system where you can also just like run all of these things and then you don't have to work all the time, you just set them up super fast, then be done, I invite you to join me. This is Denim Automation School. And so I will teach you how I created our systems so you can then create your own system. But I want to show you a little bit more. So this is what it looks like from the customer perspective. So imagine you're a customer looking for a chimney sweep. This is how it works. They either see our van, or they found us in search, or went to the Google machine, or they, had a referral, like they found a referral, or they got mail or an email from us or something. So we've reached out. Next thing they do is they go online, they're online, and they check our review status, and they're like, oh, okay, they're legit. So they've checked our reviews, they've seen us in Google, and then they go to the Book Now button. So they're gonna click on the Book Now button, and from there they see a menu of all of our services. So here's all the things that we have to offer, and this is how much it costs. Once they pick the service, then they are taken to a booking page, and they pick the date on the calendar and the time that works for them. After that, then they get a reminder, or like the automated notification saying, yeah, you really did it. You booked an appointment. You're great. This is awesome. We're together. We're on the same page. Here's an email. Here's a text. After that, then they get a little reminder a day or two before the appointment, like, hey, just a reminder, we're still coming. And that's via email. Then on the day of their appointment, they get an on my way text. And so that is like when the technician is actually en route. Then we do the job. We work on it. It's awesome. They love us. And after they've done the job, then they get a text that says, hey, we're done. You might have seen it, but sometimes people aren't home or whatever. So they get a text saying, we're done. Then after that, then they get an invoice, and the invoice comes, and this is where we attach all of our notes and our pictures and everything. And it all lands in their email box. And then they can also pay their invoice online, or they can give us a check. I don't know, however they want to swing it. That's totally fine. We'll take their money however they want to pay us. Next, then we go to ask for a review. So this is all via text. So this invoice is an email. This is a text. And we say, hey, did you like our service? Please review. And it's like, just like Amazon, just touch the star button and then that you like, and then they just leave a review. It makes it super simple for them. They don't have to go follow a link and click on here and do this. No. They just do it in app. It's all native in app. And so we get a very high engagement rate there. Then a day after the appointment, we send just a little like friendly, hey, we were here at your house, like just want to follow up to make sure that we didn't miss anything. This is my catch-all to make sure that nothing fell through my cracks. And so that way, if there was something else that I needed to deliver and I missed it, then the customer can get back to me. And they do. They do. I don't miss tons of things, but I miss stuff. So they can get back to me. And then 1 year later, this is my favorite part, there is a whole new re-engagement campaign that happens all on autopilot. And this is all based off of the job. So this is all the timing of the job. So 1 year later, they get a postcard in the mail, and it is to not just them, but it is also to or current resident, so that even if the person, our customer, moved, their house is still our customer. And so maybe they want to book another appointment. And so that's just a little tickler like, hey, it's been a year since we were at your house. Do you want to book another appointment? And then a month after that, we send an email. So they get 2 reminders like, hey, it's been a year. Do you want to book an appointment? It's not terrible. It's not in their face. It's just one thing. Then seasonal as needed. So I mentioned if I just want to like go ahead and fill up our schedule, we'll send out one email blast. This is usually for our whole all of our contacts. It's just one email blast. Hey, just a reminder, like we're going into our quiet season and we always offer a discount at that time. So if you want to book an appointment and get your discount, now's your chance. And then we send those segmented texts, and those segmented texts are the ones that we use to fill our schedule on a light week. And so that, like, we'll just segment them by neighborhood. Like if we just want to go to this zip code, then we'll send out to text to that zip code, and then we can usually fill our schedule. So here's what our annual cycle kind of looks like. So the first step is someone books an appointment. I don't know how they found us. They found us. It could have been from one of our reminder campaigns, but they get on our schedule. Then once they're on our schedule, we send them some reminders. There's some notifications to say, hey, we're really coming. Then we do the work. We do the actual job. We arrive. We're awesome. It's great. Everybody loves our technicians. They're seriously really good. And then after that, we send some follow-up notifications like, hey, give us reviews. If we forgot anything, let me know, blah, blah, blah. Then a year later, we touch base one more time. It's via mail and also email. Then within that same year, we send just a seasonal reach out to everyone to let them know about our seasonal promotions. And then we will get another round of bookings from all of this process. So that's how the whole thing looks like. So this finishes with another round of bookings. We have very regular customers who just wait for our notifications and then they're like, okay, here we go, let's schedule. So if this sounds cool, and oh, by the way, I do none of that. None of that is me pushing any buttons. Just kidding. I push the text button sometimes. But these all happen without humans. They just go out. It's really glorious. So if you are interested, if you have a home service business and you are interested in creating a system kind of like this, then I really invite you to join me in Denim Automation School. So that is my case study. And that, if you have a good understanding about what you need to do and what is possible to build inside of your own home service business, you are awesome. Thank you for taking the time here. I really appreciate you joining me for this case study. I am always here. I'm on Instagram. I'm new on Instagram, like newly committed to Instagram, I should say. And so I'm always available for questions in the DMs or whatever. If, however, you are curious about Denim Automation School and you think that you might want someone to lovingly kick you in the butt to get your systems automated, then you're in the right place. So I want to show you all about Denim Automation School. So let's just continue a little bit. I want to tell you what is inside of this program. So Denim Automation School is where I teach my 5-part framework for automation. And that 5-part framework goes something like this. So DENIM, denim. And it stands for D for detailed optimization of Google Business Profile. So The very first step is to make sure you're using the tools, the free tools that are out there for you. Google loves engagement, just like everyone else. And so we just want to make sure you're using that to maximum capacity. Next is E, engagement system is in place. So by engagement systems in place, I mean all of the things, the notifications that we have, like all of your email systems, your SMS systems, your reminders, just reminders coming back to you so you're not missing anything. All of these systems in place. So you are at your peak performance for your customers and they are prepared and they can see how professional you are. Next is navigation systems in place. So for this, I mean like getting your website up to speed, pretty much anything where your customers are poking around your stuff. You want to make sure that those systems are good to go so that you're, again, putting your best foot forward for your customers. Next is I, integrate systems with one another. We want to make sure that all of these systems are working the way that they're supposed to, because if they're not talking to each other, then what's the point, right? And then finally, we want to maintain systems with analytics. And so we'll talk about how to analyze, how to look at the numbers, make sure they make sense. But here's the deal, like I am pretty lazy. And so when it comes to analytics, like that is the part that I'm like, oh my God. But I've figured it out in a way that makes it so that I don't have to go crazy. Like this is very simple. Like I do a very simple process so that we can all be, as efficient as possible. All right, so here's what you need to see success. In this program, count on 2 to 3 hours per week. If you are keeping pace, doing one module a week, I'm going to need your feedback too, because this is not one of those programs that like I just made and put out there and then it's done. No, 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 no. This is still in its infancy. This is a toddler program. And so with that comes a lot of tweaking and changing. And as the community, you as an involved community member, like puts in your info, then I can evolve and adapt and turn it into something dynamic that is crazy helpful. So I just need your feedback. And the more engagement you give, the more this will work for you. So you belong here if you are in the starter phase. And I'm calling the starter phase as like you haven't yet started your home service business and you just want to create a business with the right systems from the get-go. Like this is a great place for you to start because maybe you're going to be an owner operator and you want to make sure that everything is put in place so that you can focus on doing the actual thing that makes you money. And then all of this business maintenance stuff can sort of run on autopilot. Or maybe you're like me and you're running a home service business and you're new-ish. Like maybe you have some systems in place, but you just want something a little more cohesive. Maybe you bought a business where you came into something and you just know it can be run better. So that is also for you. Now, you also belong here if you're in the revision phase. And I call this the revision phase because maybe the little inefficiencies in your business are just driving you insane. Like maybe there's nothing terribly wrong. You're just like over it. Like you just don't want to work so much. So that could be one thing. Or maybe I have a friend who's looking to retire and she knows that her systems will work for her, but she knows that her systems aren't going to work for other people. So she needs to just put the system in place to make your business more valuable. Or maybe you just want to work less in your business. Maybe that's the reason why you want to do this. So this is a self-paced course and we have 9 modules. Module 1 is just a commitment. We're going to commit to being an automator. We're doing this. Once you sign on to here, you are going to have an automated business. That's how it works. The next module is all about Google Business Profile optimization. So it's very possible you already have your Google Business Profile up and running. We want to make it like the best version. We are life hacking Google Business optimization, Google Business Profile optimization. And then module 3 is all about building website and funnel. Again, like you might have your website and funnels up and running. Great. We're just going to make sure that, it's its best version. We're just going to do some of the things that are proven for our industry to matter. We'll leave it at that. Module 4 is about online booking. Now, this one I have learned is somewhat controversial for people. They're like, hard pass on online booking. My customers must speak to me. Okay, that's totally fine. You don't have to do any of these things. If you don't want to adopt one of these systems, don't. You're the boss of you. It's totally fine. But online booking is just my favorite. It's my bestie. And so I hopefully maybe can convince you, if you are unconvinced, that online booking will save you so much time and effort and make your life so much better, especially if you set it up the right way. So, that's what we do in Module 4. Next, we have Module 5, and that is all about email. Now, we're not building crazy complicated email systems. We are turning our email into something that customers will, one, actually read, and then two, like minimizing the amount of follow-up emails you have to do. Like, we're just going to not be nuts about this. We're going to just be efficient and make it good. And then Module 6 is all about social. So you do have to do outreach. I'm not really on social for my chimney sweeping business, I should say. I am trying it with my other businesses, but for my chimney sweeping business, I don't do it that much. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to push it. But there are certain things that I've learned elsewhere in the online marketing world. And so I want to share it with you. And you can do as much or as little as you'd like. We'll put it at that. Module 7 is all about phone and texting. We set up those systems, make sure that there is a certain, like, some strategy that you can use for your phone systems and also for reaching out via text. Module 8 is all about integration. Most of these processes are built together. They're as we go, we build them, they're put together. Some of them do require some tweaking and some going back and making sure that they're connected properly. So we handle all of those. We just scoop up the loose ends in Module 8. And then Module 9 is all about a systems check. And that is just getting our analysis systems in place. Module 9 is not an automated thing because at some point in time, you as a human have to look at the numbers in order to evaluate the numbers. So I will show you a simple way to do that, or the way that I do it, the lazy girl's way to evaluate your numbers. So that's what you get. First one, self-paced course. You get lifetime access to that. Next, I have this bonus. In my other life, my previous life, I trained people. I was a trainer. And so this is just all about training your team on your new system, how to create a training program for your team so that they can adopt a new system. So you have to train them because they're your people. You have to create your training system. So I'm going to train you to create a training system. I hope that makes sense. So we'll go ahead and create that. Next, we have an exclusive membership group. And this membership group the intention is for this community to get together and to geek out on automating your home service business. Now, I am just one person and I solve the systems the way that I want them to solve. I tweak them a little bit as I go so that things can be run a little more efficiently. But I don't sit down and rebuild my systems all the time. So it's like, in my mind, this is one of those places where this person has a super awesome new way to solve this one automation. And then that person shares with the community gets these cool new ideas. So I just want a place where everyone can geek out and tell everyone else, share with everyone else how they're solving these automation challenges or creating new cool systems. So that's what this membership group is all about. Geek Out Central. I love it. So you get also an exclusive membership. You get this as a reminder. You get the self-paced class. You get the train your team class. You get this membership area for everyone to geek out. Love it. You also get some free trials. So I'm going to give you free trials. So these are the things that I love, the tools that I love. I talk a lot about them in the course. Nothing is mandatory. If you have a tool that you love that is not this, like, this course shows you can use the principles in this course that I talk about. So yeah, I might be speaking specifically, doing tech specifically with these things, but you can still apply the principles to other things, especially like there's so many tools out on the planet. So you can apply these principles to these things, but if you want these free trials, you can try them out. So you get your self-paced class, you get your training for training, you get a membership area, and you get all of these free trials. Next, we have worksheets, templates, and checklists. So throughout this entire process, all of these things, I include all of these worksheets, templates, checklists. These are all the tools that will help you, aid you in this process of automation. And so I don't know, I'm kind of a printables gal. And so I like to print things, write them down, like use actual handwriting to, record my thoughts. And so all of these things are printable. So self-paced class, you get your training. For training, you get to be part of this awesome, nerdy, wonderful community. All of these free trials, you get all of these worksheets and templates, and all of that is under the umbrella of Denim Automation School. So let me just tell you, you are a perfect fit if you have said any of these things, said or thought something to this effect. I, or someone who works for me, goes to clients' houses and provides a service. Yes, this training is for you. This is absolutely for you. Or maybe you've said, I pay for leads because I'm not sure how to get cold traffic. Okay, yeah, that's for you. You've paid for leads. So I'm not saying to stop paying for leads if that's what's working for you, but I'm just saying, like, do something with your leads. Like, you've paid for them once, right? Now you have their contact information. So this system will teach you how to do something with those people. Remember, my system was like, all of my leads were sitting in the system doing nothing. That might be the same for you. We'll show you what to do. Also, maybe you've said, I have a service business and I'm over the craziness and chaos. I'm not saying that business always has craziness and chaos, but oh my gosh, things are so much calmer with like systems that work. Next, I have a service business and I just want more business without working more. Yes, you're thinking about scaling. This is step one. Step one is to get your systems and processes in place and automated so that next thing you can do is you can scale and hire people. So step one, get the systems in place. Now you've got this. You've got this. So you have 3 options to buy this if you would like. First one, $297 a month. And that's for 6 months. 6 months of $297 a month. If that's your jam, do that. That's so simple. I don't even care. Next is, if you'd rather just like, you need to break it up the payments a little bit, but maybe not so long, $587 per month for 3 months. Simple. Done in 3 months. Or if you just want to pay for it all at once, it's $1,497 all at once. One-time payment, you're done. And you save a little money if you pay all at once. So realistically, these are some questions that I get sometimes. So realistically, how long will this take for me to get through the course? So I designed it to be quick. I love content. I will sit and listen to content all day long and not do anything because it's a problem. It's a problem. But the courses that work the best for me to actually move the needle are quick. And so I've tried to make these very formulaic. So, like quick video, quick video, quick video, so that you can just bust them out and then do the thing. So 9 weeks, I planned it so that it would take 9 weeks. You can go faster if you're a fast moving person. This is self-paced. So I say 9 weeks, but I'm a little bit slow. So it's possible to go faster if you're super speedy. All right, next question. How long will this program be available to purchase? For the foreseeable future, for sure. I don't know. I have a home service business, and the idea of these launches happening and then going away, it breaks my brain. So this is just available. Like, this is a thing that you can buy. You can buy this on my website. And I don't know. I don't know all of the tricks to entice people to buy quickly, beyond like, hey, we're not that busy right now, so you can have a discount. So yeah, go buy it. It's great. It'll be around. This is available. All right. Now, do I guarantee results? No. Here's the reason why. Because I am not the one that is implementing these systems into your business. So I guarantee that I have done my part. I have taught all that I can. I've created a course that I think is pretty good. I'm also committing to change that course or to add to it whenever something is unclear. And so my commitment to you is that I am around and I am agreeable and totally open for whatever sort of information. I'm open to deliver whatever information you need to make this work for you. But ultimately, you're the one implementing these systems. And so because I am here on this side of the internet and you are there on that side of the internet, I don't go to people's houses and force them to do the work. So no guaranteed results because you have to do the work. But I say that with all the love in my heart and all of the support that I can send through the internet, saying, I believe in you and you can definitely do this. And I am here to support you. All you have to do is tell me what you need and I'm doing it. It's totally fine. All right. Now, next question. Do I have to be good at tech to be able to do this program? No. Here's the thing, these people who are good at tech make these systems for people like us who are not good at tech. They want us to not be so mad that we throw our computers across the room and never use their systems again. So, because they have that in mind, then they make these systems super simple, super easy to use, and we all can enjoy it without being super techy. So I've learned some tips and tricks along the way. So I'll share what I learned. I'm not techy though. Ultimately, like I've bumbled my way through these systems and figured out what works for me. And I suspect that other people who are equally like mediocrely techy would want something similar. So that's the way I teach. All right, so that's it. So I invite you now to join me. Just join us. You're going to love it. If you want freedom from your crazy, crazy life and your crazy, crazy business, and you just want things to be a little bit calmer or a lot calmer, I'm going to say 75% calmer, then please click the button below. That will take you to the payment page. You can go ahead and just join Denim Automation School. And I feel like you're going to be really happy in your heart. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I can't wait to see you on the inside of Denim Automation School.